Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been rough. I know it's been tough, but we have good news as memes will remain legal. Judge blocks Gavin Newsom's AI censorship bill as violation of the First Amendment, saying most of AB 2839 acts as a hammer instead of a scalpel, serving as a blunt tool that hinders humorous expression and unconstitutionally stifles the free and unfettered exchange of ideas, which is so vital to the American democratic debate. Hear, hear. Libby Emmons for the Post-Millennial writes, a California law signed by Governor Gavin Newsom late last month that was a direct reaction to his disgust at AI parodies of his friend Vice President Kamala Harris, has been struck down, or him actually, after U.S. District Judge John A. Mendez ruled that it was in violation of the First Amendment. Now, I want to stress this. What Libby is saying is not an opinion statement. In response to a viral video of Kamala Harris saying that she was an awful candidate and Joe Biden was a puppet of the deep state, Newsom tweeted literally, this should be illegal, and said he would sign a bill to do it. Saying it right there to your face. The plaintiff in the case has been granted a preliminary injunction, stopping the law from going into effect while the case goes forward. Now is your chance, ladies and gentlemen. While they have placed an injunction on this, you have every opportunity to post memes and use AI to do it. It's time to have some fun and be funny. That's what it's all about. Now, I'll be the first to admit I am terrified of AI. Terrified is not really the right word because I feel like I'm more, I don't know. What's the right word? It's, you guys ever see Galaxy Quest? It's Tony Shalhoub's character where he's just like, we're in outer space, I guess, and aliens are attacking us. What can I do? I'm kind of laughing, you know? AI is coming. And it is terrifying what it will do. It's going to automate people's jobs away faster than you realize. Journalists are about to get fired. Movie stars are about to get fired. We are entering the reality where you're going to put on your Apple Vision Pro and you're going to say, okay, Apple Vision, make me a movie about Spider-Man, but he's baking a birthday cake for his nephew, and it's a rom-com. And it will just do it. It'll be like rendering. Let me tell you about this program they got. Here's a free shout out to Opus. Did you know that some of the biggest Instagram, let me tell you about what AI is doing. On Instagram, you're going to see fake women, and it's getting harder and harder to tell who the real and fake people are. You got some guy, and he's sitting in a room, and he's typing away, and he's automating Instagram influencer posts from fake women. You've got some of the creepiest and weirdest stuff on the internet popping up all over the place, but there are people who are having their videos made by AI. I'm hearing conversations of AI podcasts. Seriously. Imagine this. We made this joke about Timcast IRL a while ago that it's actually all AI generated and this video is not real. It's not actually live. It seems like it's live. This is live. I'm actually sitting here and I can prove it by saying it is 10:56 Eastern time and Tom McCormick just had a super chat at 10:22 a.m. And in the chat, someone said, bad manolite? Yeah, it's getting wild. But here's the reality. We are very close to it all being fake. You will one day turn on a podcast and it will be for people and they won't be real. And they'll be telling you things they've made up, but you won't be able to tell the difference. And we're about a year away from that, 1 year. So I can truly accept that there are crises in AI. But my friends, banning AI speech using these tools to make memes and parodies ain't the answer. I don't know if I have a good one for you, but let's read a little bit more. We'll explain what's going on and why they're freaking out, but we'll talk about what the solutions may be. Libby goes on to say, in July, a fake campaign ad for the Harris Waltz campaign went viral. In the ad, a likeness of Harris appeared to stake a claim to being the first DEI candidate to be on the presidential ticket. People found the obvious fake to be hilarious, including Elon Musk, who tweeted it out. Quote, manipulating a voice in an ad like this one should be illegal, Newsom posted. I'll be signing a bill in a matter of weeks to make sure that it is. Newsom and the state of California were promptly sued for First Amendment violations by YouTuber Christopher Coles, who shared the video, and he won so far. Mendez wrote that he ruled in favor of the injunction because Coles is likely to succeed in showing that AB 2839 facially violates the First Amendment. Journalist Michael Schellenberger shared details of the ruling on X. Brilliant and bravo, he wrote, quoting the ruling. In New York Times v. Sullivan, the Supreme Court held that even deliberate lies said with actual malice about the government are constitutionally protected. These same principles safeguarding the people's right to criticize government and government officials apply even in the new technological age when media may be digitally altered. Civil penalties for criticisms on the government, like those sanctioned by AB 2839, have no place in our system of governance. Hear, hear. And shout out to Michael Schellenberger. He does great work. Michael, we should come on the show and we could talk about this. In the ruling, Mendez wrote, AB 2839 does not pass constitutional scrutiny because the law does not use the least restrictive means available for advancing the state's interests here. As plaintiffs persuasively argue, counter speech is a less restrictive alternative to prohibiting videos such as those posted by plaintiff, no matter how offensive or inappropriate someone may find them. Mendez's ruling is in favor of the axiom that the cure for bad speech is simply more speech, not restrictions on speech. He continued saying that especially where political speech is concerned, counter speech is the tried and true buffer and elixir, not speech restriction. AB 2839 is unconstitutional because it lacks the narrow tailoring and least restrictive alternative that a content-based law requires under strict scrutiny. He also went on to address the Harris fake that Newsom had objected to, saying that the video portrayed Harris as saying she is the ultimate diversity hire, noting that after Musk shared it, it got over 100 million views on X alone. After Newsom signed the bill into law, Musk shared the video again, saying the governor of California just made this parody video illegal in violation of the Constitution of the United States. Would be a shame if it went viral. My friends, I'd like to break down for you exactly why you cannot ban AI-generated parody. We'll start with this. Now, I wish courts used actual arguments, and they don't. And it's really annoying. Like this argument like, oh, we can't ban AI because it's not the least restrictive means of prohibiting this thing. Like, well, what? Dude, let's just entertain a real argument. If I can go on my show and say, my name's Alex Jones and they're coming for your income tax. Or I can say, listen, people, Israel is in need of our defense because a World War III is coming if we do not. If I could say, listen, you got to clean your room. I'm not saying I do the best impersonations, but the point is this. There are people who actually do them very, very well. And there are many people who hit it so perfectly, people are like, wow, that really sounds like Trump. And when they do these voices in these cartoons, people think it is. Now, if a person can imitate another person's voice, you can't make it illegal to do an impersonation. The radical left, you can't make that illegal. And so if I practiced every single day to actually try and do good impersonations, not just weird voice on top of my head, I might actually get pretty good at it. In fact, I probably would, like most comedians do. They got that talent, right? Are you then going to say, that's illegal because it sounds too much like you're actually Donald Trump? That's stupid. So if somebody uses a tool to do it, no, we can't. Here's an example. If we say you're allowed to make a picture of Donald Trump buying a hot dog, and then they're like, I'm criticizing Donald Trump by showing him buying a hot dog. If I use an AI to make that, that's illegal now? That's ridiculous. The tool being used to make the content shouldn't matter. Just because it's easier to do now for the average person doesn't mean all of a sudden it's illegal. It's the stupidest thing imaginable. Magic tricks should be illegal because everyone can do magic and everyone's confused as to where the red ball went. That's stupid. Now, Elon Musk has been calling them out, accusing the Democratic Party of threatening free speech. The Democratic Party openly wants to take your freedom of speech under the guise of what they deem to be hate. And it's true. During the debate with J.D. Vance and Tim Walz, J.D. Vance criticized the Democrats for wanting to ban speech, and Tim Walz interjected in the debate specifically only threatening or hate speech. Define hate speech. They say hate speech is language that marginalizes or denigrates marginalized groups or certain groups of people or whatever. And it's like, what? That's what they say. Hate speech is like, you get the point. It's if you said like this group of people does a bad thing. How come all of this group is responsible for the world wars? Yeah, it's hate speech. You're criticizing a group. That's stupid. You're allowed to be wrong. And you're allowed to be stupid. The thing I hate most about how they want to ban speech is that what they're really doing is telling stupid people they're not allowed to be part of the system. Because if you're a dumb guy and you go on the internet and say something really dumb like, I think the earth is flat. I mean, they don't really care as much about that. But the point is, and actually they do ban these videos, which is kind of wild. They used to have very popular and prominent flat earth videos on YouTube, and they banned them. They didn't ban them, but they like down-ranked them, so they made it very, very difficult for anyone to find. And the argument was, well, it's bad. And if people are stupid enough to fall for flat Earth, come on. People are allowed to believe the Earth is flat. What a stupid reality we live in. Stupid both because people might think the Earth is flat. Everybody knows it's hollow. I'm kidding, by the way, but they'll probably downrank me for that anyway. But you're allowed to be wrong. The idea of banning hate speech is the fundamental, it's the root situation of if you're wrong, you're banned. So I see a person come out, and I talk about Israel derangement syndrome quite a bit. You know, there's a lot of things to criticize Israel over, and I have to say it all the time because there are people who are like, stop defending Israel. I'm not defending Israel. I'm criticizing people who think Israel is the root of every problem in the world. Like, that's just insane. I'm sorry. The people who think Israel controls the United States, you've lost it. They've got influence. They've got disproportionate amount of influence relative to other countries. You betcha. But we've given Ukraine more money than Israel, and we've only been giving Ukraine money for 2 years. I mean, technically longer than that, but I mean in terms of the billions. Ultimately, my point is, if I disagree with you and you think I'm wrong, if you say, Tim, you're so dumb, you know so little about Israel, fine. Okay, I'm wrong, but I'm allowed to be wrong. I'm allowed to say what I think is true. And you, so were you. You're allowed to go on YouTube. You should be, but a lot of people do get banned in this regard. Probably because they overlap it with the Jews, and that's where they're definitely wrong. But I disagree with that too. You're allowed to be wrong, and the solution for bad speech is good speech. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. I tell you this: if someone comes to me and they go to my business and I'll put it this way. Let's say I go to buy white guy tacos. You know, I go to a store and it's got white guy tacos up top, and then there's a big sign saying all we do is put beef and cheese on a tortilla. If I walk in and the white guy behind there says, "Get out, you're Asian," I'd be like, okay, I don't want to eat there anymore. Dude's going to spit in my food or something. I don't want to be there. Let him be wrong. Now, I'm not, in terms of the business argument, I don't want to hash this whole thing out, but I actually more in favor of being like, you can't do that. Don't discriminate in the public sphere for arbitrary reasons. Ultimately, my point, though, is if someone's speaking and they're outside and they're saying things that I think are wrong or racist or whatever, I say, I'm glad I heard you say it because I don't want to be friends with you if this is the way you're going to act around people. Now, I will be friends with some people I think have bad opinions because I want to change their minds. And being friends with them isn't always about whether or not we have weird views on foreign policy or something like that. But speech, it needs to be allowed. And banning hate speech is basically saying some people are wrong and mean about it, so they're not allowed to speak. Well, how are you going to correct them if you don't know what they're saying? Silly. But there is another bill that was blocked. And this is where it gets interesting because AI, my friends, I think is the apocalypse. Or maybe it's paradise, depending on which political persuasion you prefer. California governor blocks landmark AI safety bill, says the BBC. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has blocked a landmark artificial intelligence safety bill, which had faced strong opposition from major technology companies. The proposed legislation would have imposed some of the first regulations on AI in the U.S. Newsom said the bill could stifle innovation and prompt AI developers to move out of the state. Senator Scott Wiener, who authored the bill, said the veto allows companies to continue developing an extremely powerful technology without any government oversight. The bill would have required the most advanced AI models to undergo safety testing. It would have forced developers to ensure the technology included a so-called kill switch. This would allow organizations to isolate and effectively switch off an AI system if it became a threat. It would also have made official oversight compulsory for the development of so-called frontier models of or the most powerful AI systems. The bill does not take into account whether an AI system is deployed in high-risk environments, involves critical decision-making, or the use of sensitive data, Mr. Newsom said in a statement. Instead, the bill applies stringent standards to even the most basic functions, so long as a large system deploys it. Now, I don't know enough about this. I'd have to go in and start reading through this to determine whether or not it was right or wrong. But I can tell you this. AI is apocalyptic. My friends, please understand me when I say this, and I mean it as no joke. AI is the apocalypse for human life as we know it, unless we get it right, which is very difficult. Let's entertain some possibilities. What is human life? What do we do? Well, humans, like most life, start with a rudimentary collecting free energy off the surface of the planet and organizing it into complex systems. Certainly, self-replicating proteins do such a thing, and, all matter sort of does. Various instances of matter will come together through the various fundamental forces. Ultimately, with enough different chemicals and different structures, you get self-replicating proteins, single-celled organisms. And what is the function what does life do that we can observe simply? It absorbs energy converts that energy into complex systems. A squirrel eats food and then makes more squirrels. Now, that food was random energy strewn about the ground. Why does this matter? Human life, as we know it, will end when AI becomes a more efficient means of organizing free energy into complex systems. Many scientists view the end result of humanity itself to be the final stage in evolution will be that humans destroy themselves through various means, but we will create self-replicating machines of artificial intelligence that will propagate themselves throughout the universe for God knows why, just because that's what we do. They'll start colonizing planets, building up these machines. And it may start with humans saying, hey, let's unleash a bunch of probes that will consume energy and rebuild more of themselves using nanobots or something like that. And then they'll set up colonies on various planets we can always just go to. Think about this reality. We launch a probe into space and we say it may take 1 million years, but that probe can self-replicate over a long enough period of time. It'll land on a planet, start making more of itself, launch onto other planets, make more of themselves. And then in, 10 million years, there might be 700 planets that are fully capable of supporting human life. Who knows? I don't think humans make it. You know why? If you take a look at the trajectory in technology, what do people do things? Like, what's the end result? What are people doing things for? Well, right now, population is collapsing. The birth rate is down. I'm going to tell you what I see from AI. The one thing I fear the most is going to be read-write Neuralink capabilities, which Elon Musk is working on. And I don't think it's the worst thing so long as the strong survive, and that will require strong cultural foundations, moral foundations, and an iron will. Not everybody has it. But I got to tell you, my friends, I truly believe if we get Neuralink Vision Pro, you put on a headset, you plug, you stick a Neuralink, wireless component to the back of your head, and it blasts your brain with waves to write information to your brain or whatever it does. If we get to the point where you can have read-write capabilities in your mind, we can simulate realities infinitely in your own brain. I tell you what people are going to do. Who wants to live in the real world when you can be Arthur Fordragon, leader of the Alliance? You can fight dragons all day and throw fireballs from your hand. Not really, but the AI, the machine, writes it to your brain. Already, we are seeing AI-generated videos, AI-generated photos, and we are a year out, maybe 2 years, from AI-created movies. We're a couple years from a fully AI-rendered video game, where you're going to go to your Apple Vision or whatever you're using, and you're going to say, make me a video game where I get to play as Cyclops from the X-Men, and I've got to save Jean Grey from Magneto. And it's going to go, rendering, here's your game, and you'll play it. And it'll be smooth and seamless. Ain't no developers required. AI will automate the whole process. What happens when you can actually read right to your brain so you can physically experience the game? People are going to lock themselves in the pods. They're going to shove a tube down their throat full of cockroach gunk so they can feed themselves, but it doesn't matter to them because they plug into the Matrix and they can eat steak all day. I don't care if it's not real. Tastes better, right? Who wants to eat the weird soy protein gunk like they did in the Matrix? That's where I fear we are going with AI. So I wonder what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Further, there's another crisis that we have with artificial intelligence, and that is the algorithmic problem. How does that work? Well, AI doesn't actually know what we want. YouTube suffered this problem a long time ago, and I'm glad to say that they fixed it, but it's tough. People were exploiting the algorithm on YouTube using AI-generated videos, which were psychotic, and AI-generated thumbnails, whatever they thought would get the most clicks. So they'd upload 1,000 videos to YouTube. Then their program would analyze which ones did the best, make more of them, and it was basically evolving this AI to exploit an algorithm made by man. The end result was Elsagate. Elsa running around, no words, jokers chasing her with a giant syringe and sticking her with it. It was creepy stuff, and it got worse than that. Hitler with a woman's body in a bikini doing Tai Chi with the Incredible Hulk. Not a joke, not an exaggeration. Those videos still exist on the internet, though YouTube started to do away with them. My fear is what I call the corn crisis. The corn crisis is when, because we subsidize corn, and it's a hypothetical, we make an AI, and the scientist says, oh, great AI, please analyze our governmental systems and economy and figure out the most efficient way to improve human life. And the AI is going to go, analyzing. I have determined that you love corn. Corn love. People love corn. You subsidize corn, produce everything from corn, plastic from corn, fuel from corn, sugar from corn. Make more corn. And then the algorithm just says, look, why bother with ham sandwiches, which has a 17% positivity rating, when corn has an 89% positivity rating? Shifts all production into corn. And then in 20 years, people are wearing corn cob costumes. Their phones are made of corn cellulose, fiber, plastic. And the only thing we do is corn. And you say, well, that's silly, Tim. You go to the restaurant, you're like, I'll have the corn fritter with a side of corn and the elotes, and I'll have a corn dog. Because the AI doesn't understand. It just sees efficiency. And I'll give you a really good example of this. We use an AI program. I use it. It's an extension for YouTube. It wasn't always an AI thing. It was more so here's an easy way to upload thumbnails. It's an extension for YouTube where it's like you can auto-generate thumbnails through what it would do is you'd click make a thumbnail, you'd grab a frame from the video that you thought was good, and then choose it as a thumbnail. Today, it has AI capabilities. They're not very good. But this program analyzes all of the titles that exist on YouTube. And when I put in the title of a video, like this one is Democrat Smear Backfires, now it's keeping it a little vague, a little neutral. What it tells me to do is the AI pops up and it shows me rankings. And it's like, use this headline instead. And they don't work. They're bad headlines, but it'll say something like, the shocking truth about the Democrat smear leaves me confused. Or like, I'm like, I'm not going to make a headline that says that. The AI only knows that other people do this a lot. And it makes an assumption based on the views other channels get over what must be good. But what works for those channels doesn't work for my channel. The AI does not get it. It sees ubiquity. It doesn't know what it doesn't know. If 10 out of 10 people say razzmatazz in their titles, and then one guy gets a lot of views, the AI is going to tell you to say razzmatazz. Not because it actually does anything, but because they see that word appearing in all the videos. It's a nonsense word. If people adopt behaviors that are negative, but everyone's doing it, the AI can't tell the difference. It will tell you to perpetuate a negative behavior. This, my friends, I think, is the AI apocalypse. But rest assured, right now, your memes are safe. And so I can respect that tremendously. Thank you guys for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with everyone you know, because this morning show, the Tim Pool Daily News Show, is the greatest show. Everyone agrees. At least that's what I've been told. And I've got a super chat right here that says it. Tim, you are great. Yeah, this is the best show ever. That's not a real super chat. I was just making that up. But either way, thank you for watching the show. This is going to be the segment for 1 p.m. The next segment will be up at 4 p.m. But if you are watching live, stick around. We got big news, and we're going to read your super chats now. So get your super chats in, my friends.